Hey, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Chats with Kevin.
And I'm Kelly.
And
this is what day? I don't know. The 14th of May.
14th of May, halfway through May.
2021. Big news in the state of Virginia today. The governor has dropped the mask mandate for indoor places except public schools, hospitals, medical facilities, and any businesses that want to keep them.
Yeah.
So I was so hoping that vaccinated teachers would be able to get rid of their masks.
Yeah, well.
But no. Because the kids haven't been vaccinated yet. So, oh well. It's just for another 5 weeks. I can manage that. And we don't even go into the building on Monday. So 5 times 4 is 20 days. That's it.
But next year it's going to be back to 5 days, right?
Next year we'll be back to 5 days, hopefully without a mask.
Yeah.
Let's hope, because it sucks.
Yeah. Well,
today the bridge of my nose started hurting.
Really?
Yeah, like that hasn't ever happened before. I'm trying to get us both in the frame here. Excuse the camera movage. Movage? Is that the right word? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It just right across the bridge of my nose started bothering me. Usually it's behind this ear. Like right now, it's still, when I touch it, it's still sore.
Weird.
It is weird. Anyway.
Mask fatigue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I will tell you, I'm glad that I can go outside, and not that I go into restaurants or grocery stores or anything like that normally anyway, but we can now without feeling like
I'll have to turn around if I forget my mask in the car.
Yeah. Although you never know. I mean, the grocery stores and all might decide to keep.
It's no way. If I'm running a grocery store and they lift the mandate, that sign comes down. If you want to wear a mask, you can. It's up to you. But
do you think they'll require their employees to continue to wear a mask?
Probably not. If they're vaccinated. It depends on, though, because if you just got, like, if you're at the grocery store, a good portion of them are fairly young people, and they may not have gotten the vaccine, so they might want to say, okay, until you get the vaccine, you're going to have to stay masked. But
yeah, we'll see.
Because they would still be interacting with potentially non-vaccinated people.
And not only did the mask mandate drop as of midnight tonight, but May 28th, they're opening full capacity.
Yeah.
At places too. So
yeah.
Another step back toward normal life. Let's hope it lasts.
Let's hope.
So we're just going to recap. We didn't have a ton of stuff happen this week.
Not really.
But we have, talk about house projects and
we have a lot of house
things that, lately it just seems like we've been
going from one project to the next.
But one of our biggest projects that's happening, we're like in the middle of it right now, is changing the liner of our pool.
All right. So
we have an above ground, 18-foot diameter swimming pool that's the deck is built up to, and it's 4.5 feet deep. It's not like a big huge pool, but it's enough.
It's nice.
And we had it put in 20 something years ago, like when we first moved. I think it was like the first summer we lived here. And we've never had the liner replaced. We've replaced the pump a bunch of times and all, but like the liner is still the original liner, and with 20 years for a pool liner it's good. It's good. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like it was bad. Like it was faded, and it had one little pinhole in it on one side, but the neighbor's trees, the roots are growing up, and so you can see them underneath. So they're gonna like grind the roots and sand and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so we have the pool uncovered and empty right now.
As empty as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
That was kind of a task. We had there's 2 covers on our pool. One for just the big cover, and then there's a top cover for leaves. And we tried to. Me and my father-in-law. Well, first of all,
so if things had worked out the way we had planned it, Kevin would have had plenty of time to get the cover off in a nice, organized, timely way. But
and I would have had Mike to help me.
As typical, that's not how it happened.
No. So I drive Kelly to school on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Those are my days off. And it's one of the things we like to do because that's our alone time together in the car. We've talked about this. Well, I get back from dropping her off on Wednesday, and my mother and father-in-law are up in the living room, which is unusual because they don't usually come out until 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And they're excitable because somebody just was knocking on the door and ringing the doorbell. Tilly's losing her mind. And then Dad turns around and he's like, somebody's in the backyard. Now, I just walked in the door and all I'm hearing is that somebody's in the backyard. So I'm thinking, I'm going to have to go out and whip somebody's ass.
Kevin's getting ready to throat punch someone.
Yeah. Because, they've done riled up my dog. My father-in-law's freaked out. My mother-in-law's like losing her mind because somebody's at the door.
Okay, hold on. Losing her mind?
A little bit.
Are you exaggerating? I doubt that they were losing their mind.
Well, she'll give me some shit about that later, I'm sure. But anyway, all the ants are laughing their asses off right now.
I know. Well, yeah.
But anyway,
you are the king of hyperbole. Let me just put that out there.
So I can't go out the back door because Tilly's at the back door. I don't want her running out there. And, so I go out the kitchen door and then go out. We have a door that goes out from the garage out to the backyard. And like I said, I'm ready to throw down if I have to. I don't know what's going on, but I'm ready to throw down. No one's back there. The dude left the gate open. I was like, Jesus Christ. So I closed the gate and I come back in the house. And now, like, everybody's gone. Like, my in-laws have just disappeared. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I go out the front door and there's a car in front of our walkway, like in front of the walkway, which, that's not normal. And this older guy just started walking towards that car. So I pop out and I'm like, can I help you? Like, obviously,
Did you have that grimace on your face?
Oh, yeah. Because he was kind of like, whoa, buddy, I just talked to the old man. I'm with the pool people.
He called him an old man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was like, all right, well,
now I'm ready.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going back in the house. So he got back in the car and left. And then that finally got, to talking to my father-in-law, who came back out of nowhere, wherever they disappeared to.
Well, once they understood what was happening, they went back to bed.
So apparently the dude was, after he finished talking to my father-in-law about coming back and telling him, hell yeah, I just wanted to check out the pool. I checked out your pool. You got to empty it. And then I'll come back. I'm doing the pool in the neighborhood and I'll just come back later this week. I'm like, all right. So he was coming. And the reason he wasn't in the backyard is he left the backyard and then he was heading back to the gate because he remembered he left it open, which I already got it closed. Anyway, so now we're in a rush. I got to get the 2 covers off and all the water out of the pool.
I just get a text message with a picture of the pool covers on the ground with the shit ton of leaves.
Yeah, it was a pain because we had
to
bunch it all up, and then we were draining water out of basically we made a bag of leaves and water. And we had to suck the water out and then pull a bunch of leaves out and suck the water. Finally, I just got it to where it was at least somewhat manageable, and I huffed it by myself
the Hulk
out of the pool.
I could just picture you busted through your shirt.
I had to huff it out outside the pool. Then we got the second cover off. That was easy because there was basically nothing to it. Got a little bit of leaves and debris in the pool itself, but that there really didn't matter.
I mean, you're emptying the pool. What does it matter?
Yeah.
The liner's going in the trash.
Yeah. Well,
I'd have left all the leaves in there. Damn it.
Yeah, I wouldn't about to do that because then it makes it harder to pump the water out.
That's true.
So we start to pump. We've got this little dink hose that only goes about 20 feet. So we wanted to get the water out to the street so it'll go into the storm drain. So I ended up going to Home Depot twice. Because the estimate was, well, it's only we only need about 50 feet of hose. No, we need 100 feet of hose. So I had to go out and pick up 4 hoses. And then we pumped all the water out. And and
the guy hasn't come back yet.
And then the guy doesn't even come back.
It's fine. People have real problems.
Yeah, I guess. But, Jesus Christ.
Just know, don't sneak up on Kevin or show up unannounced.
Well, look, I don't mind people coming to the house and even knocking on the door. I'm not going to throw down, but when I see
I guess when you let yourself in someone's backyard, that is a little odd.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, your dad's like, there's somebody in the backyard. And I don't know what's going on. There was no mention of the guy even.
Yeah, I mean, he never even said he was coming by, so it was kind of odd. And it was 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm ready to throw down. Hell yeah.
It's my Captain America.
That's right. Goddamn.
So anyway, hopefully though, once he gets here and we get the pool liner done and we get the pool refilled, it'll be like all pretty. Oh, and then the steps.
Yeah, we had to.
So our steps coming out of the pool, because you step up out of the pool right onto the deck. And we have like, they're called wedding cake steps right now, but it has one handrail. And Mom and Dad are just getting, and me too, to be quite honest, it's getting to the point where one handrail is just not quite going to cut it. And so we've been thinking of ways to add another handrail so that they can pull themselves up. And so finally I was like, can we just like Google search above ground pool steps with 2 handrails? And so that's what we did, and we ended up finding one. So
yeah, and it wasn't terribly
new steps are coming. I mean, it was more than we were not planning to spend that, but
yeah, but I mean, your dad was thinking it was going to be like $800.
No, it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad. That was his thought, though, that that'd be like stupid, like close to $1,000.
So hopefully the new steps are good and everything gets in and everybody can comfortably get in and out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward. The project itself
be nice this summer. Yeah. You get off at 4:30.
Oh, man.
We be grilling. We be sipping. We be floating.
That's right.
We be jamming. We be doing a lot of stuff out there. Get the fire pit going.
Yep.
Be good. It'll be all good. So really that was the big thing. Oh, the other big thing was we decided to invest a very small amount of money in Dogecoin. So this happened last Sunday, maybe. Was it Sunday?
Yeah, it was after we recorded the last show, but
yeah.
I think it was Sunday.
So we're just driving around, and I'm like, I'm just gonna look into this, see what the dealio is, and so I downloaded this app called Robinhood on my phone, and I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna just do $50. And if I lose my $50, it's not earth shattering. I can stand to lose $50. So we put $50 in, and it immediately started like dropping. And then it dropped and dropped. And then my mom and my brother both did $50, and it continued to drop. I think the lowest it got, my $50 turned into $33 because of somebody that tweeted something out. I don't know.
Elon Musk was being a butthole.
But then he came and he tweeted something else, and then it went back up. So the last time I checked, it was slightly above my original investment. So at this point, I'm pretty much even. But you let it ride. We'll see what happens.
The thing about, and I've done a little bit of research on cryptocurrency, a little bit, not a whole lot, but I worry about it as an investment because sooner or later the government might decide to just shut it down.
Yeah, but we're not going to be investing thousands of dollars into
No, and that's why I was like, all right, well, $50. If we lose $50,
it's one night out at dinner. So I mean, really.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, I'm all right with it, and if it works out,
it goes up like Dogecoin did, or like Bitcoin. Then
I mean, Dogecoin is probably the second most.
Dogecoin is my retirement supplement because I retire at 57.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I can retire from the school system.
Mm-hmm.
I think 57. That doesn't sound right, but I guess it is. I have a number of years to go, and I guess I can always get on your health insurance, and the school system will pay my health insurance. I mean, they do offer health insurance to retirees, but if you don't have to pay for it, why pay for it?
Yeah.
So
God knows I can't retire.
I don't know if Dogecoin does the Bitcoin thing.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, you really never know.
Right.
I bought Bitcoin at 50 or 49 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And what is I bought Dogecoin at 49 cents, but Bitcoin's up to like $56,000
for a coin. Yeah.
So that would be. I have 89 Dogecoin, so that would be a good amount of money.
Yeah, if it got to $1.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I do know one thing. If I get any kind of sizable amount of money, I will take out what I'm earning and leave my $50 in there. I'm not letting a lot of good money ride.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be spending all my Dogecoin on my new favorite obsession. We tried to get into wine a number of years ago. Mm-hmm. We tried all different kinds of wine. We went to wine tasting things and wine expos. And
remember that winery we stopped at on the way back from Northern Virginia?
Yes.
With the goat path. This place literally had like a little tiny goat path that you had to drive on to get to.
Was that Naked Mountain Wine?
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't really prepared. We were in the mountains. We should have known, but it literally was like a one little lane around a corner.
Yeah, you had to beep your horn.
You had to beep your horn going up so that coming down they would know you were there.
Yeah. That was not a great trip.
But I got really sick one night, not because I drank too much wine, but this is when I was having gallbladder problems.
Yeah.
And we had gone out to dinner for my birthday to this nice place, and we did a wine flight before dinner. And I got so sick that
I think it was the champagne because it had to be the carbonation.
I don't know what yet, probably, but we had to leave before our food was even brought to the table. So my mom and some other friends were there, and we're just like, bring it home. The whole drive home, I'm like trying not to throw up, and he's talking about stopping at Burger King and getting a Big Mac or a Whopper with cheese. And I was just like, stop talking about food. And then ever since that day, I just really couldn't bring myself to drink it because it does trigger the reflux. And I don't like dry wine, but we have a place here called Cooper's Hawk.
We talked about it a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, Mom went there and tried the blueberry wine, and she was like, it's really good. So I bought her a couple of bottles for Mother's Day, of which I've probably helped her drink.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at their wine list, and I'm like, oh, they have a sweet red made with Concord grapes and some slight maraschino cherry. That's my jam. Like, I want a sweet one. And so I ordered it online today and stopped home and picked up 4 bottles of wine on the way home today. So cheers, friends, because it's Friday. And, the first thing I thought about when I woke up this morning was, oh, it's Friday. I can sleep in tomorrow. That is bad. That's a bad way to start your day. But the one night this week I did drink wine. I slept so good that night. I did. I overslept, actually. Kevin came and woke me up at a distance because he learned once before that you don't wake me up.
Because
I accidentally punched him in the face. I don't know if we told that story or not.
I don't know if we did, but basically I got up. Usually I'm up super early anyway, but for whatever reason I was I go in and I was like, oh, it's 6:30. She hasn't gotten up yet, so I go up and I'm like, baby, it's you got to get up. It's 6:30, and then bam, hit right to the face.
I honestly think I accidentally hit you just trying to like get up.
Yeah.
I don't think I punched you out of anger.
No, I don't think it was out of anger, but it was just like one of those, oh my God, I got to get up. So I was like,
I gave it the superhero, get out of bed. Rise and shine.
Surprise.
So yeah, I mean, our week hasn't been.
It's not one of our more exciting weeks, but
with the kids at work, it was a fairly mellow week.
Mm-hmm.
There was some, little dramas at work, but that's always the case.
And I work in a call center, so it's nothing but drama. Actually, and I guess I'll do for shout outs, I'll go ahead and shout out my boss, Don, who is retiring, which, good for you, Don. I love working with you. You've been great for me, but Jesus, man, I don't even know what I'm going to get now. So that's he's retiring end of July. I think he said is when he was leaving. But
my highlight, I had a highlight this week. I had a couple really funny kid stories, and I really ought to write them down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they happen in the moment, and I laugh hysterically because they're just really funny. And then I always forget. But 2 things that are really funny. So I don't know. You all watching might not think it's funny. But anyway, a couple of kids were sitting. I overheard them. They were sitting at the table, and they were writing. And the one boy, a boy and a girl, and one of them, the boy said, "How do you spell ladybug?" And the little girl was like, "Ladybug. L." And so he wrote L, and he looked at her, and then she goes, "80bug." And it was like, that's all she was going to put into it. It starts with an L. And I just thought that was so hilarious because she's working so hard on like segmenting sounds, and she does really well, but I think ladybug was just too long of a word for her to figure out. But Kevin does that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll say, like, how do you spell, I don't know, detention? And he'll go D-E-T-ention. Like, it just struck me so funny when I heard her say that. L, and then he's looked at her name and she's 80 bug. And then my other story. Oh, goodness. There's so many stories. I try to think. I have one little special friend who, he takes a lot of patience. He got mad at me today because I told him I didn't really appreciate his attitude. And so he decided to just start to take everything off. But we caught him in time. He never got past his shoes, thank goodness. But, you're going to throw some attitude at me after I done bent over backwards all day long to keep you happy.
Mm-hmm.
The other story I wanted to tell you. Same little girl, actually, who said 80 bug. We were playing a game called Kahoot, and Kahoot is like, there's questions that come up on my screen, my TV screen, and they all have their iPads. And so the question comes up and then the answer choices, and they have to tap the answer choices on their iPad. And the faster you tap the correct answer, the more points you get. And so they like to compete to see who can get the most points. And it's usually always the same couple of kids that are right up there. So we were doing one more and one less than a number. So the number would come up, and then the 4 choices, what number is 1 less than 7? And, they would have to choose the answer. So this little girl who's one of my, I don't want to say she's struggling, but, she's made a lot of progress, but she's working hard. She was in the number 2 spot. So it was this kid who's always like right on it, number 1. And then she was in the number 2 spot. And so the next question comes up, and we were maybe 6 questions in to a 10-question quiz. So like the question comes up, what number is 1 less than 8? And the answer choices come up. They all choose their answer. And then, it highlights the right answer. Well, whoever wrote the quiz for Kahoot selected the wrong answer as the right answer. So all of the kids who answered correctly scored an incorrect response. This little girl answered incorrectly, but happened to get the one that the quiz said was the correct answer. So she bumped up into the number 1 position. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't about to say a word about it because her face, she was so proud of herself that she was. Now the other kid eventually kind of overcame her and got top spot anyway. But like for that little bit of time, that she had been right up there in that number 1 spot, she was so excited. And the other kids were like so excited for her too, because they do congratulate each other. It's not like vicious. They don't cry over it if they don't get in the top 5 or whatever. We worked on that, and they're really,
that doesn't kick in until middle school.
No, I mean, when we started playing that game, there was some of that crying and giving up, but you teach them, and then they do better. But it was just, I mean, I looked at my assistant, and she looked at me, and we're like, and some of the kids noticed because they were like, "Wait a minute, that's not the right answer." And I was like, "I don't know how that happened," but it was fun. I just think these kids 20 years from now will be like, I remember when my kindergarten teacher celebrated that girl for getting the wrong answer. Oh, well. Everybody deserves to be celebrated.
Yeah.
And we're not all perfect. Clearly, the person who wrote the quiz wasn't perfect because they got it wrong. And I should have checked.
And it probably got past an editor or two, too.
No, there's no editors.
Oh, really?
You just create the quiz and post it, and then anybody can see it.
Oh.
I should have checked all the answers before we played it, but I didn't. So whatever. Those are my fun moments of the week. And that's what makes it good. The little guys. One of my friends who works in one of the other classrooms, my best friend who works in one of the other kindergarten classes, told me one of her little boys decided he was just going to go pee outside at recess today. And apparently she did a ninja move, spinning him around so he was facing the wall so that not everybody out on the playground could see. Yeah, that's what we deal with.
I'd wager that at any given point in the United States, that probably 34% of all exterior walls have got some piss on it.
Oh, lovely.
I'm just saying.
That's just
Every guy, any
thought.
guys watching this,
guys,
at some
stop
point
doing
you've
it.
pissed on a wall.
Just
somewhere.
don't. There are bathrooms, for crying out loud.
Not everywhere. So
women, you don't see doing that unless they're drunk. No. So how can women manage to find a bathroom and men can't?
It's not that. Well, I mean, I'll be very honest. It's much more convenient for guys to just do it than
doesn't make it right.
Well, if you're in some, you're out and about somewhere and there's a wall, no one's watching.
If you're ready to go down as a sex offender, if you get caught by the cops.
Nowadays, you want to be a little bit more careful because that does happen much more frequently. People are getting busted for that stuff.
I wonder why, because innocent women and children walk by and then have to be exposed to that.
But I guarantee that any man watching this is at some point pissed on some wall somewhere.
As an adult or as a child?
Well, probably as a young adult. I haven't pissed on a wall anywhere in a couple decades.
Oh, thank you for saying longer than I've known you.
Yeah, it was long before I knew you. Probably the last time I pissed on a wall somewhere was after one of the shows from Haunted Forest, out and about in Norfolk, bar hopping or whatever.
Okay. That's drunk.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
I used to drink a lot.
Not so much anymore.
No, I don't drink all that often at all.
So we talked last week about doing a top 5 every week, and this week we decided to do our top 5 movies. Kevin is a huge movie fan.
Yeah.
Like, you can watch a movie and somebody will come on the screen and I'll say, that person looks familiar, and he can run through their filmography.
I used to be like a walking IMDb. I'm kind of lost it a little bit over
because of me, because I'm not a movie person.
Yeah, but I used to. I mean, my friends would call me on the phone. Hey, who was in this movie? Blah 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 blah. And I'd just lay it out, even if it's a movie I haven't seen at all. I would just know it. So I used to just be literally a walking IMDb, but I've kind of lost all that now. But.
All right, so I'm just going to say we just try to guess each other's top number one, which I don't think will be a problem for either one of us.
No, number ones are easy for us, but the
you want to try to continue to guess each other's?
Sure.
Okay, so Kevin's number one movie of all time is Jaws. In fact, for Christmas this past year, I got Kevin the cool. What do you get? Very cool. What do you get a person who? We just buy the things we need usually.
Yeah.
And Kevin doesn't have a lot of needs. He's not a materialist kind of person. He just doesn't have a lot of things he wants. So I found this website called From, and it takes every frame of a film, and it takes the predominant color in that frame, and all across the canvas, it just does stripes of that color.
Yeah.
And I got Jaws from beginning to end.
It kind of looks like
it is really cool. It looks like
very cool. It looks like a barcode, but it's like blue and gray, a lot of blue and gray because of the water. And it was nice. Once you told me what it was, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool. And if you didn't know that's what it was, you would just think it was a cool piece of art. Yeah. Which I really kind of dig that. And then my favorite movie.
That'd be Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride. I could watch it whenever it's on. We watch it.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. About the Princess Bride. It is a perfect mixture of an adventure movie, a pirate movie, a love story, a comedy, magical. It just has a little bit of everything.
Yeah. It's got characters you can really get into.
Great.
Quotable. Yeah.
Such a great movie.
And the thing about for me with Jaws, it was my aunt Kathleen used to take me and my cousin Joe, her son, to the movies. And the first time I saw Jaws was at actually a drive-in, which is now a flea market in Richmond, called Bellwood. And we were watching. The next thing you know, when the shark pops out, and Chief's like, "Come out here and shovel some of this shit," and the shark pops out. Boom, we went from the back seat to the front seat because there's no way we're going to sit in the back seat anymore. store, they immediately regretted taking 2 5-year-olds Jaws at the drive-in. So anyway, it was great. But then I've seen it 1,000 times. I could quote it from start to finish if I needed to. It's just a great movie. The reason I love it, though, is that I don't care who you are. If you go to the ocean and you're looking at the water, the music's playing in your head.
Well, that's really more of a John Williams thing.
Yeah, well, John Williams he's actually in a couple of the movies in my top 5. That'll help you. But seriously, that's no one's going to the beach without thinking about that music. It's in your head. It's in your psyche. And that, to me, is like the mark of the best movie of all time, because it doesn't matter who you are. Your kids are thinking about it. So
that's true. All right, I'm going to guess another of Kevin's movies.
Number 2.
I don't know if it's number 2 or not.
All right.
But The Great Lebowski.
Big Lebowski. Big Lebowski would be in my top 5, but it's not number 2. It's probably number 4.
Well, you ranked yours. I can't really rank mine after 1. I know what my favorite movie is, but
yeah.
All right, so The Big Lebowski. So I got, I called it the wrong name, but yeah. Okay, so I got 2
the
out
Big
of 5.
Lebowski was actually a thing I got from hanging out with Brian Compton. He was talking to me about it, and I watched it, and it's just a hilarious movie. It's really a movie about nothing. You're not going to come out of it with the secret of life, but it's just a great, fun movie to watch. You know, again, super quotable, but you're not really something you can really quote. It's a great movie. So,
all right, take another guess.
You're number 2.
I don't know if, like I said, just any one of my my next 4, I guess.
Well, I know you like there was one with.
No doubt you're going to say a movie that I've forgotten about, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's the one.
Well, the one the legal one with Sam L. and your boy McConaughey. Can't think of the name of it right now.
A Time to Kill.
A Time to Kill. Which, I watched it, not, in my thinking.
It might be a McConaughey thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but, I mean, it's a good movie. But the trial action, I was kind of like, we came on different sides of it, because Sam L., it's not really a justified thing. Those guys were in custody. You don't be killing folks in custody.
Look what they did to his daughter.
I get it. And had they not been in custody and he had been out in the wild, I'd have thought differently.
But he knew they were going to get off.
He didn't know they were going to get off. They had a ton of evidence.
Kevin, come on.
No, I don't know.
Anyway, that didn't make my top 5. I actually did forget. Really? I did forget about it. But yes, I like that movie a lot. But I think that's more not. It was a great movie, but I think it was more a McConaughey thing than like I was really like touched by the movie. I was touched by the movie, but yeah. I think it was more about McConaughey.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about McConaughey.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Going back to you. There's just.
You want to hit?
There's just a plethora of Marvel stuff out there. One of those has to be in there.
Yeah.
But which one? That's the thing. Yeah. So.
Well, I'll give you a hint.
No, wait. If you tell me it's not an S, I know that's not it. This freaking stupid Superman is not an S. I think it's a damn S. Anyway. Spider-Man?
The Sam Raimi Spider-Man is in my top 5. That'd be my number 5.
I don't know who Sam Raimi is or any of that, but I did know
the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from 2003. Okay. That is in my top 5 because that movie I waited my entire life for. I waited for that movie.
Did it let you down or did it live up?
It lived up. Me and Richard went and saw it opening day. It was the last time I went to a movie opening day well, it wasn't the last time, but I went to opening day. We didn't get shut out. We thought we were going to get shut out, but I was able to get tickets and everything. We sat down, we watched it. I loved every second of it. And Richard wasn't a huge Spider-Man person at the time. He's gotten a little bit more into it since then, but man, it was great. It was well worth the wait. Which, you can't just, before 2003, the technology just really wasn't there to make a good Spider-Man movie.
Be interesting to make that exact movie, but with better
CGI.
CGI, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little dated in that, but yeah.
All
right. For you, another one of your favorites.
This is totally going to be him reminding me what all my favorite movies are.
Well, I know that you like Steel Magnolias.
Yeah, I would put that in my. The scene in Steel Magnolias.
Oh, yeah.
The cemetery scene is one of my all-time favorite scenes in a movie.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't count that as one of my top movies.
Okay. Then now I'm kind of at a loss.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you're not really into movies.
I'm not. So I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's a Tom Hanks movie.
Oh, Apollo 13.
Apollo 13.
That's right. I should have thought of that.
Apollo 13 is one of my all-time faves.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of my favorite people in it. I had when I thought about Tom Hanks, he's in a lot of my movies that I love. It came down for me like if I didn't want to do like a whole bunch of Tom Hanks movies because it's kind of lame-o, but it came down between Apollo 13 and Captain Phillips. And I think his performance in Captain Phillips was better because you really forgot you were watching Tom Hanks in that movie.
Yeah.
And the ending scene when he got on the Navy ship and they were like attending to him and he broke down, like I was bawling like a baby and I bawl every time I see it because it was so real. Like I just felt like that was so real. I went with Apollo 13. And you know what else was in there? Lady Killers.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Lady Killers.
That was one of my other favorite Tom Hanks movies.
You brought your bitch to the Waffle House.
That's a great, if you've never seen it, so
you got to watch Lady Killers. I think it's the most, there's two super underrated movies from Tom Hanks. Lady Killers is one, but the most underrated is Joe versus the Volcano. I don't know why people hate that movie, but it's so much better than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my favorite scene in Captain Phillips, and not taking away from Tom Hanks' performance there, because it was awesome, but true to what happened in real life, probably the greatest shot of all time. It was 3 Navy SEALs on the back of a boat in rough seas at night, shooting into 3 little tiny ass windows on this dingy boat, tied to the boat on choppy rough ass seas, shooting at the same exact times. 3 shots, 3 heads exploding at one time, at the exact same time. And then they just stood up and walked away like a boss. I mean, that's literally what they showed me. They got the shot, then they just picked up their gear and started walking towards the helicopter because they got shit to do.
That was a good scene.
That was...
I mean, because if you're shooting people in the head, it's a little violent.
It's the greatest shot of all time. It's really the greatest shot of all time. I can't think of any shot that was
really
better.
Good. That was a good movie.
That was a really good movie.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah.
All right, so back to Kevin. So we have Jaws, we have The Big Lebowski, we have Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's 2 more.
Are they Marvel?
One of them is not Marvel.
One of them is a superhero movie. Marvel.
One of them.
Okay. It's a superhero, but not Marvel. Is that what you said? Oh God. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so my number 2, and this is because this is the first movie I ever went to. I was a kid, a very young kid. My aunt Kathleen goes, I owe my love of movies to my aunt Kathleen because she took us when we were kids. She used the movie theater as a babysitter. In Henrico, there was a real cheap movie theater that opened up early. She would drop me and my cousin off, give us a couple bucks, and we'd go to the movies. Well, this theater, they didn't give a shit. They let little 9-year-old boys go into R-rated movies because we paid. We saw Beverly Hills Cop. Oh my God. We saw.
Well, that's like.
We saw Friday the 13th. We saw all these great movies from the 80s and from the 80s we were able to go to because they didn't give a shit. They were like, rated R, whatever. Here you go, kid. You paid. So,
all right. So what was your movie?
Oh, my number 1. My number 2, Superman. The original Christopher Reeve Superman. Just because everything about that
That's the first movie you remember seeing?
That's the first movie I ever went to the theater to see, ever.
Okay. This reminds me of when that one time Michael said DC Cab. I remember watching DC Cab when we were kids. Mom and Dad took us to that movie, and we're like, oh, because it was on TV. And we were like, oh, let's watch DC Cab. And we were like, put it on. And I'm like, Mom and Dad took us to this movie? It was so inappropriate.
Very inappropriate.
Oh, times have changed. Okay, Superman. All right. Got another guess for me?
Another guess for you. And if you're relegated only one Tom Hanks movie to that top 10.
Oh, wait, let me check. Yeah, there's only one.
So, I know it's not Die Hard. You get so pissed.
I don't dislike Die Hard.
Right.
I like the movie. I am not on this train of thought that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'm the only one in my family. Y'all. I'm the only one. There's one of me that believes Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It's an action film that happens to take
Settle it in the comments, y'all.
I'm going to settle it. I'm going to lose because everybody thinks it's a Christmas movie. I just don't agree. I don't think Christmas played... It was the backdrop. It didn't play a central plot point in the film, to me. But everyone I know disagrees with me, and that's okay.
Well, back to your list.
But not that.
I'm going to go with the first movie we saw together, which was Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead was funny.
It was a great movie. First of all, the trilogy, the Coronado trilogy, every bit of it is great. But Shaun of the Dead was the first of the Coronado trilogy, and it was the first movie we saw together. It was just the two of us on when you were living with Melissa, and her couch, and we watched that, and it was great. It was hilarious, and you know, great. Any of the three movies.
Can't stop me now.
Yeah,
it was a funny movie. That did not make my top 5.
Oh, really?
Again, you're reminding me of one of my favorite. No.
Because we went and saw King Kong.
All right, so I'll give you another one of my favorites.
All right.
The Greatest Showman.
Oh, I should have got that, yeah.
I loved that movie. And I don't generally like musicals and then all the dancing and whatever, but that movie was a really so good. Loved it. Mm-hmm. Watched it in the movie theater multiple times.
Yeah, we saw it once at Attenborough and then once with...
We saw it. We took parents and we saw it, and yeah,
across the street.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Really good movie.
All right, so I have 2 more to guess for you, or one more.
One more. We're doing 5, so that's
okay. Oh golly, and it's not a Marvel. This one is a Marvel.
Nope.
Oh, it's not.
This is not a comic book one at all. No.
Lord. Is it one we've seen together?
I'm pretty sure we had to have seen it at least once. I mean, it's an older movie.
So it's older than our relationship.
Yeah.
Then I have no idea.
Jurassic Park.
I was going to say Indiana Jones.
I love Indiana Jones movies. I mean, I love the first Jurassic Park. The very first Jurassic Park movie. And the reason why is because there's a story associated with it. July 4th, 2003.
You're like putting me to sleep. I had wine and now you're rocking, and I'm just like.
July 4th, 2003. This is the weekend it came out. And my plan was my mom and dad were staying somewhere down on the beach, and they were at the ocean front. And I was going to come down and find them and join them. So I drove down to the ocean front, and, you know, of course it's packed, and then driving around in the on Atlantic. And at the time, I had a rejection sticker on my car, and that was because I had a light that was out. I fixed it, but it was 4th of July. No one's going to do an inspection on the car on the 4th of July. This bike cop, points at me and then starts running towards the car. And I was like, oh, shit, something's going on. And the guy comes to my window, and he goes, you got a rejection sticker on it. Put his hand on his gun, points at me in the face, and says, you got a rejection sticker on your car. I was like, whoa, Speedy. I'm all right. I'm sorry. I just, it was a light and I had it fixed, but it's 4th of July. I can't get it inspected. He goes, well, you shouldn't be in that car on this ocean front. I'm like, look, man, I'm out. I'm gone. As soon as I get to a place I can turn, I'm gone. And his partner was like just doing this number, shaking their head at him. and I was gone. I was like, no, screw this. Sorry, Mom and Pop, not going to find you. So I was like bummed out because now I've got nothing to do. Everybody else is.
And this made Jurassic Park your favorite movie?
Well, no. I said, well, I'll just go to the movies. And I was by myself. Went to my favorite theater at the time, which was out in Suffolk. It was what was the name of it? Harborview, which was nice. It was very nice. And then I'm watching Jurassic Park. Now, Jurassic Park was the first movie where they really got the CGI right. And you saw these dinosaurs on the screen. Even with the commercials, they didn't look all that great. But you see it on the big screen, and they were like, holy shit, those are real dinosaurs. It was fantastic. It blew my mind away. I was never blown away like that by any other movie.
It's a good movie. But then again, it had the John Williams
and the John Williams music. Yeah.
Something about his music just really amplifies the movie experience.
No doubt. John Williams is going to go down as one of the greatest composers of all time. Not just movie composers, one of the greatest composers of all time.
I agree.
So,
all right. So I have two more movies. One you might guess, one you'll never guess.
I'm actually already at a loss for you.
Okay. So the one I thought you might guess is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's such a seasonal movie. I mean, we'll watch it for Thanksgiving every year.
It's one of my favorite. Like every single scene of that movie is funny, especially the airport scene. It's the best. The second one comes from my childhood, and this goes back to my sister and I watching this movie ad nauseum, and that was The Cutting Edge. So,
I should have guessed that.
If you've never seen it, D.B. Sweeney. And Moira Kelly.
I don't know. No one knows who the
Yeah,
chick
I think
is.
it was Moira Kelly. I think so.
Yeah, D.B. Sweeney is the only one that got out of that movie with a career.
Excuse me.
What?
That's not true. But anyway,
Terry O'Quinn was in that movie too.
See. You remember that. You knew that.
Well, he was in Lost.
Okay.
The guy's famous for Lost. I mean, he and Stepfather and a couple other movies.
I know, but you knew that from The Cutting Edge, so I've clearly watched it with you.
Yeah.
It's about an ice skating, a hockey player who meets up with a figure skater who's lots of trouble, and they go to the Olympics. It's just a really good movie. Oh, the Olympic movie.
Miracle.
That was a good one. Movie. That was a great movie.
I love Miracle. It's such a.
That is such a good
It's honestly my favorite Kurt Russell movie, and I like Kurt Russell. You don't like Kurt Russell all that much, but
I don't dislike Kurt Russell. I did not like Kurt Russell in
Guardians.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was a ridiculous casting to put Kurt Russell in that movie.
Yeah, I saw it. Who else is going to play a planet?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody who you've never seen before.
That's no good.
Anyway, we don't agree on that. That is a big point of contention in that whole movie for the two of us.
But Kurt Russell and Miracle is just a great movie. It's on Disney Plus. It's
so good.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what America needs right now. A moment like the Miracle moment, where everybody.
At least hopefully, yes, because that pulled everybody together in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were watching the 9/11 stuff. That one day, the History Channel had all stuff about September 11th.
Yeah.
And we got into it because I feel like if that stuff comes on TV, I kind of feel like
obligated to watch
because I don't ever want to forget that moment in history. Not for any good reasons, but those people had to live through it, and the least I could do is watch it when it comes on and remember.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that?
Well, I mean, that's a movie where everybody got together.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie, but an event where it kind of solidified us as a country together. And unfortunately, it seems like for a really short time. But after that day, just how people were reaching out to each other and all of that. Unfortunately, it just seems to be negative things that pull us together. So we do need a hockey team to come in and steal the day. Yeah. All right. So
go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to say there are a lot of great movies. We've mentioned our top fives. Leave yours in the comments, but there are great movies. There's The Fugitive is also one of my favorites. All the Marvel and Star Wars movies, Star Trek, the franchises, all the franchises are great. Go and watch a movie. Movies are just a great escape.
In this top 5 thing, we could break down into so many categories, like top 5 comedies, top 5 dramas, top 5 sci-fi.
There we go.
Yeah. So we'll do another top 5 next week. I don't know what the topic's going to be yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll do it and try to guess each other's top 5. I didn't do too good on your movies.
I didn't do good for yours. I only got 2.
Oh, goodness.
Really, you had to adjust your things based on a couple of my answers. Like, oh yeah, I really do like that movie.
That's how it works for me. I like I said, cute. I'm not a big movie theater buff, and I have a hard time staying attentive to a movie unless I'm really interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
I just get sidetracked, and I don't know. I sit for hours, but I can't sit and pay attention to a movie, so I don't know.
Well, I appreciate when you go to like Marvel movies with me, because I know that's not really your deal.
Yeah, I don't know when that'll happen again.
It's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while, but anyway. So our one last thing, I didn't prep anything for one last thing. The gas shortage. Let's talk about that. Okay, so I don't know. I think people have just lost it.
People are prone to panic.
I really think it's just a fatigue that has set in with people. And we're so afraid to be caught unprepared for the worst, because the worst seems to have been happening over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
But the gas thing was never a shortage of gasoline.
I think people are starting to be conditioned to do that.
To panic.
Yeah. Because it's, not to get all into the whole, thing, but people are much more willing to accept things when they're panicked. So that's why it's from one crisis to the next. Oh, we have this crisis or that crisis. And,
Did you know that the people who, now, I don't know if this is true. This is what I heard today. I don't listen to the news really much anymore, so I don't know. But whoever hacked into the pipeline demanded $3 million or $3 billion or whatever Bitcoin payment, and they paid them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I thought we didn't do that.
The government's standpoint is not to negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
But this is a private company.
It's a private company. Gotcha.
So they wanted to get their pipeline reopened.
Get it.
Which actually, I would think that at some base level, there's got to be a literal thing you can turn. It can't be completely... that blows my mind if it's completely digital. It
isn't. They turned it off. They did turn it off.
Yeah. That blows my mind. There isn't you can't. There should be a physical thing that you can go to and just turn it.
Well, everything's run on a sophisticated. I mean, look. If you don't believe in the sophisticated stuff, then carry your gasoline home in a shopping bag.
Oh my God!
That video, by the way, did not happen. This is what I heard. That did not happen during this gas crisis.
You know how many different videos there are?
Oh, really?
It's not just the one lady. That blew my mind. She showed me this video and she put it up on her Facebook.
I told him on the way home from work. I was like, I saw on Twitter that they were saying, oh, some organization, whatever, does not recommend you. I guess it was the pipeline company came out and said, we do not recommend you put gasoline in shopping bags. And I just was like, what? Who would do that? Who would even think I'm going to take my Walmart shopping bag and fill it with gas? And then when I got home, somebody had posted a video on Facebook of this woman doing that. And I was like...
There are multiple videos of it. And people filling up those totes.
The shopping totes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the plastic totes.
Big plastic totes. They were filling those up. Oh, which are still... The gasoline is going to eat through that. The gas containers are designed
there's a reason why you have to use a special gas container.
The gas isn't going to corrode through. Anything other than that, gas is going to corrode through normal plastic.
And here's the thing. That woman put bags of gasoline in the back of her car.
She is going to die.
God forbid some innocent woman with her child gets distracted at a red light and taps into the back of that woman's car, and it explodes and kills the woman and her child. Or I'm sitting next to this woman at a red light, and someone runs the red light and hits her, and her car explodes, and I die. Like, there's a reason why it's illegal. It's not just her.
Well, yeah. Not only that, once the bag bursts in her trunk, she's got loose gas in her trunk. Eventually, some of that's going to seep out into the air. Somebody flips a cigarette, and it's going to catch it on fire. She's going to die in a fiery ball of fire.
Irresponsible with her own life and the life of the people around her.
It's crazy. And it's so obvious you shouldn't do it. They have pictures that say, do not put gas in anything other than a specified container.
I mean, why not take Ziploc baggies of gasoline?
It would do the same
thing. At least that would zip close and wouldn't seep out.
No, it eats through the bag. It's just, oh my God.
Kidding. Sorry. Yeah. Does that still hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. Sorry. But I couldn't believe it.
Sometimes... And the problem with this country is we have to cater to the lowest common denominator sometimes. Apparently. And that's why I just can't.
Because lawyers make them put labels on shit. Take all the labels off, shit will take care of itself. Yeah, you have to go to a couple extra funerals a year, but it's all right.
We said that about this kid who's been trying to do backflips on the concrete at school. Like, can I practice my backflips? I'm like, no. You're going to crack your head open. But he's been doing it anyway, all over, wherever he goes. And there's this little part of me that's like, let him go for it. What's he going to crack his head open? Some people just have to learn the hard way. I just don't want to be in the path of that person who's learning the hard way. Because I learned a long time ago that you just don't do that.
I enjoy watching fail videos where people are trying to pull off stunts and that are obviously ill-conceived stunts. And
because why so many things are illegal?
Well, maybe don't make it illegal. These folks, the only way they're going to learn.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But I don't want to be in that person's path while they're learning.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
So for the sake of humanity, please, just fill your tank. You'll be fine.
Yeah. It is crazy, though.
I mean, we thankfully had a full tank of gas, so I didn't even think about it. And I'm coming home today, and I'm like, oh, we're under half a tank. But they're saying, it might still be a problem through the weekend, but by Monday or Tuesday, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So we'll just cut down the amount of trips we take. I'm not going to go, to Williamsburg or anything, but...
Yeah, we've probably got enough gas to last us till I get off on
next
Wednesday.
Week. Oh, yeah. So we don't drive much, but anyway. So that was my one last thing. I had to.
No, we're good.
Shake my head at that. So anyway, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, everybody. Glad to talk to you.
Have a great weekend. Almost the end of May, and I haven't heard anybody or myself. It's
actually been a fairly easy May for you, for the most part.
It has, for the most part. I have finished my glass of wine, and I am feeling very relaxed.
There you go.
So I might have another glass.
Oh, snap.
I'm going to become an alcoholic one way or another. I'm just kidding. I just went through all this stuff with my liver, and I'm like, I don't drink at all. And they were like, oh, well, it's not from alcohol. And I'm like, great. 4 bottles on the way home.
It's good stuff, though.
What, that I'm drinking wine?
No, the stuff from Cooper's Hawk.
If I keep drinking wine when we're doing our Friday night chats, we might end up talking about a lot of things that we didn't want to put out there.
No. We got a little semi-political tonight.
Not really.
Yeah,
if you know Kevin, we got nowhere near political. The gas thing, I'm sorry, Kevin. That woman putting those in a bag was not a political statement.
No, that was just her being dumb. But...
I don't know who she voted for. And I'm not even going to take a guess.
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully nobody. Hopefully she stayed home. I don't care who she would have voted for.
She wrote in herself. One thing. Remember that one time I noticed a little thingy here? You know what I noticed tonight?
What?
I have wrong eyebrow. I have half an eyebrow.
Yeah.
What?
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm getting old. My eyebrows are thinning out, except for right here. It's on this side too, look. And these little dark patches right there. One of two things is going to happen. I'm going to have to pluck that so it's all thinning out, or I'm going to have to just remember to pencil them in.
I guess I would. I don't know. I don't know what to do in this situation.
I'll use shot pencil them in.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'll do. All right, friends. All right. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
We will see you back here next Friday.
Next Friday.
God willing. Bye, everybody.